What really goes on in an avoidance mind after you walk away? You've walked away. You've chosen yourself. The endless cycle of push and pull has finally stopped. But here's the twist no one talks about. Avoidance, the people who seem emotionally unavailable, indifferent, or even relieved when you leave, are not as unaffected as they appear. In fact, after you walk away, many avoidants are going through a private storm. On the surface, they may seem like they've moved on effortlessly, but deep down, there are hidden thoughts, conflicting emotions, and silent realizations. Let's dive into what really goes on in an avoidance mind after you walk away, because it's far more complicated than you think. First, understand this. Avoidants don't usually process loss in real time. When you walk away, they may appear calm or even relieved. That's because their primary coping mechanism is emotional suppression. But the first thing that happens in their mind after you walk away is denial. It's not because they're delusional, it's because that has often been their pattern. Avoidants unconsciously expect people to return after conflict. When you actually leave and stay gone, it disrupts this dynamic. They may not show it, but they're cataloging every day that passes. Every day you don't reach out, you don't apologize, you don't try to fix things, it registers. They may not act on it, but they feel it. The expectation is subtle but powerful. You're supposed to come back. Now here's where it gets interesting. While avoidants push people away, they also fear being truly alone. So after you walk away, a second mental process begins beneath the surface. They start rewriting history. Maybe it wasn't that serious. Maybe they just need space. Maybe they'll cool down and we'll reconnect. They want the comfort of knowing you exist in their orbit without the demand of actual intimacy. In their mind, you're out there, but still somehow there's still loyal, still available when they're ready. That thought soothes them, even if they don't admit it. But as time passes and your absence grows louder, their mind begins to twist the narrative. And here comes the third mental shift. They start questioning their own behavior. Avoidants often carry deep-rooted beliefs that they are fundamentally flawed, that if someone really gets to know them, they'll eventually leave. After you walk away, part of them wonders if they finally pushed too far. Even though they created the distance, deep down they hoped you'd be the exception, the one who wouldn't give up. They test people by withdrawing, but when someone actually leaves, it confirms their worst fear, that they were never really worth fighting for. This paradox creates emotional confusion. So the fourth thing happening in their mind is a desperate search for understanding without vulnerability. They want to know everything. Why you left, what you're thinking if you're coming back, but they don't want to expose their own heart to find out. After you walk away, they're often obsessively analyzing, checking your social media, rereading old messages, mentally dissecting your last conversation. They're searching for clues, for closure, for answers, but on their own terms, quietly, privately, without having to admit they care. And here's something even more revealing. Some avoidants secretly hope you're transforming without them. Not in the way you might think, not to punish them, but because it validates their worldview. They may imagine you becoming more emotionally self-sufficient, less needy, more independent. It's not because you were too much. It's because your emotional availability scared them. If you were to return, they secretly want to believe it would feel different, safer, lower pressure, more manageable. So they imagine that your absence is creating the perfect version of you, one who won't make emotional demands that overwhelm them. At the same time, avoidants have another contradictory thought process. They want to matter to you, but not be responsible for you. In other words, they want to occupy space in your mind, but not in your daily life. So after you walk away, they're wondering if you still think about them, if they still have emotional power over you. It feeds their sense of significance. But if they sense you might need them or expect something from them, they'll retreat even further mentally. It's a tightrope. They want to be missed, but not needed, remembered, but not required. And then there's the creeping fear of being replaced. Though avoidants pretend they're fine with you moving on, they secretly dread the idea that someone else will get the version of you they couldn't appreciate. After you walk away, the absence leaves room for imagination, and imagination is often more intense than reality. They start thinking, what if there was someone new? What if that person gets their vulnerability, their love, their effort? What if I pushed away the one person who truly understood me? These thoughts stir shame, regret, even panic. But avoidants won't express that. They'll just get quieter, colder, more distant. But don't be fooled. That silence is not indifference. It's self-protection. Some avoidants initially see your departure as validation. Especially if the relationship was intense or conflicted, they may think, see, I knew they'd leave eventually. Everyone does. They may see it as proof that relationships are unsafe, that vulnerability leads to pain. But over time, that defensive stance softens, and it's replaced by something much more vulnerable. The wondering if maybe, just maybe, they lost something real, even if they don't want to admit it yet. And here's the final secret they won't admit, not even to themselves. Deep down, many avoidants hope you'll somehow still understand them anyway. That despite their walls, their mixed signals, their emotional unavailability, you'll somehow just get them. That your walking away is temporary. That you'll translate their avoidance into the fear it really is. That you'll read between the lines of their silence and still choose to care. It's a fantasy, but it's a powerful one, and it keeps them emotionally tethered even when they say they're done. So what can you do with this knowledge? Here's the key. Stop trying to decode what the avoidant is thinking and start focusing on what you're becoming. The more you try to understand their mental gymnastics, the more you abandon your own healing. Walking away isn't a strategy to trigger their realization. It's a declaration of your self-worth. Because when you stop trying to exist in their complicated mental landscape, something shifts. You regain your clarity. And that's the one thing avoidants never expect, that you'll grow so much in their absence, you'll no longer need their presence. If they come back, it won't be because you played the game right. It will be because you stopped playing altogether. And that authenticity, ironically, is what disrupts their patterns most. Because for once, they're not pushing someone away. They're watching someone choose themselves and realizing they might never be the same again. If this video resonated with you, take a deep breath. You're not alone. Walking away from an avoidant can leave you feeling confused, questioning everything, wondering if you made the right choice. But the space you've created isn't empty. It's sacred. It's where your healing begins, where you stop shrinking to fit someone else's limitations. If you've ever felt like you were the only one trying, remember this. Your emotional courage is not a flaw. It's a strength. And those who can't meet you, there aren't your puzzle to solve. So if you're ready to understand more about emotional patterns and reclaim your peace, hit that like button. It helps more people find this message. Subscribe for more insights on attachment styles, healthy boundaries, and building secure relationships. And hey, drop a comment below. What part of this video surprised you the most? I read every one, and you never know who you might help by sharing your experience. Until next time, trust your decision, honor your growth, and remember, you didn't walk away to punish them. You walked away to find yourself. And that's the most powerful choice you'll ever make.